This sort of thing has been going on for years with many teams. So the question is, at what point do you stop investigating and just cut it off and realize that sign stealing is something that is very common, and what you're really punishing teams for is violating a written rule that baseball had sent, a written memo that baseball had sent to teams, and changing the narrative in that way.
Which said that you cannot use technology to do this. We all understand that sign stealing's happened forever.
And it's part of the game.
And it's part of the game, but when Major League Baseball tells every team, okay, hold on. All right, we get it. You got away with it for a while, but no more technology, and then you still do it, and you continue to do it? I mean, how stupid are these guys?
There are so many things that we all do that we're not supposed to do all the time. I can't even tell you. I could give you a laundry list of things where we're looking for any small advantage we can find on the field, off the field. We're doing deals back in the days when we weren't allowed to do sponsorship deals with casinos, with gambling.
Right.
We're always calling baseball and saying, hey, listen, this is a company that's not really gambling. It's sort of like DraftKings when it first started. That was not allowed, and then it became allowed. Indian casinos weren't allowed when it first started. Then it was allowed because so many teams were doing it in order to raise revenue, let's say. So it's not like the U.S. Constitution, right? We're looking for ways always to, maybe people are looking to change that too, I guess, but we're always looking for ways to try to work within the rules that we know exist, but go as far as we can in order to get an advantage, either on the field or off.
So do you think that the penalties are harsh enough?
You're asking whether it's a deterrent, given that that Lunau and Hinch got fired. Does that mean that all other teams will stand down? Let me ask you, when players are suspended for a year or for life for steroids, does that mean they stop doing them?
I don't know. I don't
know.
I think some of them have. I feel like performance-enhancing drugs is not what it was.
I do not.
So do you think? So hold on. So you think this is going to continue on some level?
Yes, I think that is what we do. That's what teams do. Yeah. You look for advantages. You want to win an extra game. You want to find a way. Do I think that there'll be trash can banging again? Absolutely not.
Right.
But it's the same thing, right? We have to take the underwear bomber in airplanes. Now people check the underwear, or the liquid bomber. You can only bring in 3.5 ounces. That means that if something bad's going to happen, it's going to be done differently. It's the same concept. Obviously, we're not talking about human life.
Right,
the point is, the people are always looking. If one thing is said, don't do it again, fine. You look for something else.
Okay, well, if they get caught, maybe the penalties will be deterrent for some people. That's why I'm wondering if you think the penalties are harsh enough. Should they have fined them more, fined the Astros more? Should they have docked more draft picks? Should they have banned them from postseason this year? I mean, is it harsh enough where other teams say, all right, well, whatever we were doing, we got to stop it?
So it's a tough question you're asking, because the biggest on-the-field problem that happened with the Astros is losing the first and second round picks in 20 and 21.
Huge.
That has the biggest impact. The $5 million doesn't matter.
Right.
They're going to find a new manager. They're going to find a new general manager. Life will go on. They'll play 162 games. If they had started suspending players, that impacts on the field, but you can't do that because you've got to deal with the players' union, and they're protected by a union. Could he have made Jim Crane sell the team? That is the ultimate deterrent to make an owner take responsibility for what his team is doing. But he can't do that because the commissioner needs 23 owners to vote for his compensation and to continue his contract as commissioner. So it's a very tough situation that all commissioners find themselves in. So when you say, is it harsh enough? Pretty harsh, historically harsh. However, I don't believe it's a deterrent. Those are two different things.
Right. Well, the next penalty might be double that. But let me ask you this, and I heard this morning, and I didn't realize this. Did Major League Baseball try and get out in front of this year by putting a 10-second delay on the monitors in the dugouts? I heard that this morning.
Well, there are not 10-second delays on the monitors in the replay room because the replay room is what is used in order to decide whether you can challenge. What they do have is an employee, a Major League Baseball employee, who's actually in the replay room during the postseason to make sure there's no nefarious activity going on. However, that said, the way to actually stop any sort of replay rooms problem from happening is you have an employee, Major League employee there every game, and you don't allow players ever to go in the clubhouse by mandating having bathrooms outside of the clubhouse near the dugout and literally closing the clubhouse. But the point is, if you do that, they'll find another way to try to steal signs however they can use them. So it really doesn't matter whether there's a 10-second delay in the replay room or on any monitor in the TV, because you're just going to look for another way to gain an advantage.
Talk to David Sampson, former Marlins president, MLB analyst for CBS Sports HQ. Here's my outside-the-box thinking, or maybe it's not even outside the box. Maybe others have talked about it. But if you watch an NFL game, a coach can talk in the earpiece to his quarterback. The coach is talking to his coordinators using the headset. Has Major League Baseball ever considered that, where, you know, every player could have a little earpiece set up so that their coaches talk directly to them and there's no actual signs with fingers or anything like that?
Yeah, it's actually something I talked about on my show, Nothing Personal, with David Sampson, which you can download and subscribe to. That's exactly what we talked about in the competition committee, some sort of communication in that way. MLB is developing that. One of the players I spoke to cynically said, we'll just find a way to find the channel and hack into it. And you know what? If you can interfere in that, good for you. Go do it. But that is a great way to do it. You sort of cover your mouth and call a play or a pitch into the pitcher's ear. I think we can accomplish two things, and no one's talking about this. We've tried to get pitchers to wear helmets for years in order to protect their heads from comebackers. It's possible that we could mandate that I keep saying that MLB could mandate minor league pitchers to wear helmets, and in those helmets can be the technology of the earpiece where you can hear the catcher and you can hear the dugout. And then as those minor leaguers graduate to the major leaguers, they will have those same helmets. It's like the NHL when they started mandating helmets. There was a grandfather clause for the players who grew up. Like Ron Duguay never wanted to wear a helmet because of his great hair, the New York Ranger. But eventually everyone wears helmets. So I think MLB could absolutely do something like that. It's a great idea.